Lieutenant Bryan Coromato. Okay, this is the serious business of all of this. Of course, the Boilermaker was delayed yesterday. The start of the wheelchair and the 15K both delayed because of a police incident. I must say a special thank you to all the volunteers and Utica Police Department. The reaction and response was, watching it would almost give you chills, probably would give you chills, because the response was incredible by UPD. And, these are awful stories. In this case, it looks like we're talking about a murder-suicide. It looks like there's one victim, a young female, and it looks like the male who tried to commit suicide, we believe, it looks like he has survived. To dig into this is Lieutenant Bryan Coromato to tell us anything that he can here this morning. Bryan, good morning. Not what you would expect to have to deal with on Boilermaker Sunday.
Absolutely not. Well, good morning, guys. How are you?
Good. All right. So what do we know? Do we? At what point do you think the names will be released?
We'll probably have a lot more this afternoon. We still have to meet with the family of the victim, and there's definitely some stuff that we have to put together still at this point. The investigation's been ongoing since, for good 24 hours now.
Yeah.
And we've developed a lot of information over that 24 hours, and I think we'll see more information that can be released probably later today once we meet with the family.
All right, I do have to ask you. This story is beginning to take on a viral legs nationwide. There are photos posted claiming that are on a male's Instagram page claiming to be of the victim. It is murder photos. Are those accurate?
They appear to be.
Yeah, it's terrible.
We're obviously we have possession of those photos from the different social media sites, and we're looking into trying to get them taken down, and working from using those as part of as evidence to put our case together and what events led up to this incident.
If I can vent just for a moment on this, because there are parents out there right now dealing with grieving over their child. I last night was alerted that these photos were up online. I went to Instagram and I reported it 3 different times, 3 different ways. What bothers me is there's a graphic that comes up on Instagram that says graphic photos may be, I don't know what it says, maybe sensitive to younger viewers or something like that. So apparently they realize these are graphic photos. Why are they still up there? I don't understand.
So you saw them actively on the account last night?
They are on the account.
Not only on the account, but other places, too.
Here's the problem, too, Bryan, is now all Reddit has, everybody's,
copies of
all of these blogs, it's all over the place now.
We have been, as of last night, once they started to hit different platforms, we've received several different calls to them. And we were actually directed to them shortly after we were called to the scene by people who had noticed them on a social media or a chat platform where they were posted originally. And, they definitely have been spread from there, which is we know it happens relatively quickly.
Yeah, and at this point you'll never completely get rid of those photos. My question is, how does Instagram as a business allow allow that after people? I can't be the only person reporting it, and then to have a sensitivity alert screen up there. So you clearly must know that, or something, whether it's their technology that knows. Those photos should have been taken down. Did you have something?
Yeah,
I agree.
I wanted to ask, is that how the police and authorities were alerted to this? Was through social media?
We were alerted. We did receive a couple of phone calls that alerted us to this, which turned into an attempt to locate, and our attempt to locate led us to Poe, and that's where we located the scene.
Well, can you tell us, is Poe, the residence on Poe Street, is that the victim's residence, or what took you there?
So to clarify, this did not happen at a residence on Poe Street.
Okay.
So Poe Street dead ends off of Culver Ave into basically to the park. The road dead ends, and the road kind of extends a little bit into a wooded area, and these two individuals made their way down Poe Street and were secluded in this little wooded area.
Okay.
So there's no relation to Poe Street other than that's to where they were.
So there was not a residence.
So it wasn't inside.
There was not a residence. There wasn't family member. There wasn't somebody who lived over there. It just happens to be there.
And I'm assuming
there's a secluded area back there.
At some point, we might learn how you were alerted to go to Poe Street. Maybe a passerby, somebody discovered something. Can you tell us that at this point? Well,
we did. Like I said, we received a couple of phone calls. I have not listened to the actual 911 recordings personally myself at this time.
Yep.
I know they have been listened to, and one of the calls did come from the male. There was a call from, I believe, his father. There was a call from the male that he may have been in the area of Poe Street.
Okay.
So officers were, directed over there, and that's when they had located both individuals.
Lieutenant Coromato, with the whole element of this, with the photos being on Instagram and basically all over the internet now, what does that do to your investigation? I mean, how does it complicate it?
I don't think necessarily it complicates it in the extent of our investigators are doing their job and it's not interfering with it.
It complicates it for the family.
It just creates the buzz
right.
in the media, and it's probably more offensive to the family. And obviously it'll gain some traction, and it'll probably extend outside of the area to interest from the media, and that's something that I and the administration will have to deal with and buffer that between so our investigators could do their job.
It's already being called in some of these sites the Instagram murder. Is that what it's something like that?
I have not heard that one yet. But
very similar to what we saw with Craigslist, if you remember. Now,
right.
Again, I think we all have to just remember there's a family out there grieving this morning. Can you tell us? We know that we believe one family is local. Is the family of the male? Is the male from here or out of town?
He is from the Onondaga area.
Okay.
In his condition, we were hearing yesterday there was a surgery that he was involved in.
Yes.
What can you tell us?
He was located, obviously, with injuries, serious injuries. He was transported to St. Elizabeth's. He went to surgery. He came out of surgery. Last I knew, he was sedated, still critical at this point, but I think he's expected to survive.
Okay. All right.
That was the last word that we got.
I just want to ask, and you probably know a lot more about this even prior to this incident, but it's from what we understand, here's the victim is a good child, a very decent person. Kids get involved with these chat rooms and these sites that are popping up all over the place, and a lot of it can be very dark. What can you say about that? And even if it's not in relationship to this, but and beyond that, how difficult a challenge it is for parents because you don't know where your kids are online.
It's true. I'm not a parent, so I don't feel comfortable giving advice to parents. But from a law enforcement perspective, I think it's probably imperative that you kind of can try to keep track of what social media platforms your children are on, and kind of monitor them. I know it's kind of tough, probably establishing a good relationship, being in their business all the time, but I think it's imperative to their well-being moving forward.
Okay, so you expect a press conference at some point this afternoon?
I don't necessarily know about a press conference. It's still something I have to talk with the chief about in the district attorney's office and things like that. But I foresee some information
coming out,
being released later today. If I have time to just kind of talk about one thing, we heard a lot of information come in that this was related to the Boilermaker, and the Boilermaker there was a threat to the Boilermaker. We just want everybody to know that the delay was just to get emergency medical vehicles and personnel to the scene and police personnel to the scene. And once that the male was extracted and we established a crime scene and established that there was no threat to the race was allowed to go, and I think the delay was about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And at no point in time did any of this was related to the Boilermaker, or was the Boilermaker in any threat. We have no information regarding that.
It is amazing how the stories travel, how quickly they travel. At one point, and I had asked you about this yesterday, somebody had said he was held up. He was claiming he was going to drive down the road and run over people.
Correct.
None of that stuff ended up to be
none of that.
true.
None of that is accurate.
Yeah.
Nothing related to the race itself.
All right. Anything else you guys have?
Hats off to you guys. I mean, to watch it unfold from when the sergeant and the captain stopped the start of the race, to see that, and then from everything getting off basically without a hitch. Congratulations and thank you, because it was really incredible.
And we appreciate that. Unfortunately, the situation, somebody lost their life. Needlessly so.
All right.
We'll have to work on that.
This, I do believe this story is going to be a lot more horrible for people as details come out. So we would ask people to be patient and feel for this family that's dealing with this right now.
We're getting some information online. There's a vigil planned tonight at 8:00. And where is that? Near the Parkway, I guess.
Okay.
They're planning a vigil tonight.
All right, Lieutenant, thank you for the details. And again, we'll be awaiting more information later today.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.
All right, thanks. And I think Andrew's right. The response during such a big event, the fact that the UPD and everybody else was able to respond as quickly as they did, I think is a real positive. But this story is just, and I do feel this is going to be a story that goes national. And I also feel that that Instagram is going to get a lot of heat for this. Who owns Instagram now?
Facebook.
It's Facebook. They're going to take a lot of heat for this as to why are those photos still up? Why were they not taken down? How many people, including myself, flagged those? And it's not about anything except it's just disrespectful to the family.
Sick
Horrible.
is what it is.
And now that those were allowed to remain up, people have screenshotted those photos, and they are all over the place. You'll never be able to bring that back in.